Hello, is Sabrina there? Hello, Sabrina, it's Matt Washington. I'm doing good. I'm actually not doing that good because Miriam just came in and told me you were thinking about quitting. Now, you didn't even do anything last week, so how could you be, like, she told me that you were taking up too much time, but you didn't do any demos last week, so how could no demos be a lot of time? You did demos?
She didn't have any sales. She had a sale yesterday for 29.
Okay, so you did four appointments. Okay, so and you had how many sales?
One's supposed to and she had one yesterday.
Okay, so the main issue is that you don't feel you have time. Okay, so what do you have to do in your schedule that's taking up so much time? Okay, so how much studying do you do a week? Three a week, or so you study 21 hours every week.
She's
So
been
so
constipated.
much. So my so let me just make sure I understand. So you sit down and you're so from like 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock every day you're just studying. I understand.
I can't send because
Okay.
my computer's at work, but I'll send it to
So
you when I
3 hours every day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you study for 3 hours straight. Okay. So whenever you have free time, well, so you know this, so it's been 3 hours. Okay. So let's talk about that. How you're in high school,
college.
college? How many credits are you taking? Okay. So you're taking 12 credits. So now, Sabrina, what are you going to school for?
Three
How
classes.
much? What are you going to school for? What do you want to do? So you want to be a
He didn't
veterinarian?
study that. He said to learn the old one.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Are you planning on like having a family one day?
He's on
Okay. So so you're planning on having family and kids? Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think once you have family and kids and a real job like a veterinarian, that you might have a little bit more on your plate than you do right now? Okay, but how would, oh, so is it, well, let me ask you a question. So is it time or is it that you're not making money? See, there's a difference between the two. Okay, okay, so you're not making, so you're spending a lot of time. So I want to make sure I got all the stuff. Time, not making enough money. Okay, is there anything else? It's just those two things? Okay. Well, how much, well, how much money do you need to make each week? Okay, so $200 you need to make a week. Okay. So now what? Miriam had mentioned something about babysitting. Is that correct? Gotcha. Okay. Now, so if you don't make $200 a week, it's not really worth your time, right? You need to make that kind of money. Okay. So you got bills and stuff you got to pay. Good. All right. So let's talk about that. So if you're going to make $200 a week, let's say you find a job paying you $9 an hour. Okay, $9 an hour. Well, let's do 10. Okay. Now I don't know. I'm pretty sure the economy is bad. That's what I heard. But there's not a lot of jobs out there for college students part time making $10 an hour. But let's just pretend that would be 20 hours of work. But on top of that, you would also have taxes taken out of your checks. So you'd have to work at least 25 hours at another job making $10 an hour. Now my receptionist makes $7 an hour, which means in order for me to make 200 bucks, you're going to be working 25 to 30 hours a week at another job to make 200 bucks. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you honestly been doing 25 to 30 hours of Cutco work every week? with everything, driving, going to places. I mean, put it all in there. I'm trying to be fair, but coming to the meetings, all the stuff. Have you been putting 25 to 30 hours worth of time into Cutco? Okay. So what would happen is, Sabrina, is if you needed to make $200, you would go someplace else. You know what they would do? They would just give you a schedule and say, here you go. You need to be here. And by the way, for $10 an hour, you're talking about your schedule would be, here's when you have to be here, and here's when you have to do your work. And you better get it done in the best possible. There would be no like, hey, well, I got to do this today, or I got to do that. They'd be like, well, who cares? I don't care. We're paying you $10 an hour. You be here and get your work done. Is that correct? Okay. So the point is, so you're saying it's the money, but now the point is, so we have to figure out like, well, now, by the way, you make $14.50 here. So even if you don't sell anything, okay, I don't have a calculator in front of me. Yes, I do. 200 divided by 14. Wait. 200 divided by 14.5 is about it's about 13 to 14 appointments. And aren't you over 1,000? Okay, so it's 13 or 14 appointments for base pay, and 200 divided by 0.15 means you'd have to sell $1,300 a week. Okay, now 1,300 divided by 250, average order of 250 is 5 sales a week. I don't know what your average order is. I can't see it. But 5 sales, maybe, if let's say you're doing horrible, okay? Let's say you're only selling on half your demos, okay? Or you got to the point where you could sell on half your demos. Well, then you're talking about 10 appointments. Now, 10 appointments, you put in like, even if your appointments take an hour and a half, that's 15 hours. And then let's say you got to do 5 hours of phone time to get those, and then you got to come to the meeting. So you're talking about 21 to 22 hours of work, which is what you would do in another job anyway. And that's when you're at 15%. Now, 2 weeks from now, if you're doing things properly, you're at 20%, and then you're at 30%. And then you don't have to do 5 sales. Then you're like, Ashley just did a demo yesterday. She sold $700, and she made $100, and at $700, she already made $150 on one appointment. So the point is, our job is designed. Now, here's the challenge, though, is now it might also be, I know you're doing a lot of advertising and you're trying to help out and do all this stuff, but the point is that then fine, don't do that. But what you need to do is you need to sit down and make a schedule, and then what you need to do is hold yourself accountable to that schedule, because if you don't work, there's only 2 types of people who work in America. There's people who work for themselves and people who work for other people. Now, if you're working for yourself, then you have to say, well, here's my schedule, just like I have a schedule. I work for myself. Here's when I do training. Here's when I go to the gym. Here's when I'm hanging out with my family. Here's when I'm doing my birthday stuff. Here's when I'm meeting with reps, or here's when I'm training receptionists. I put all on my schedule, and then I follow it. I can't just go, well, training today? I don't feel like doing that. Okay, and then just let 20 people show up to training, and then I just take off and say, hey, training's canceled. If I could do that, by the way, but then my paycheck would be really bad. And then I would be like, well, this vector thing doesn't work. I'm not making any money, and it's taking up all my time. And I'm all stressed out about it. Well, that's because I didn't follow the schedule I made for myself. So the only reason I'm a manager is because I make a schedule and I follow it. That's what we take good reps and become managers, because they know how to follow the schedule. Okay. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about you, Sabrina. I'm just saying that what you're telling me is that we can do that. You can, and I don't think you can make $200 at another job, with the type of hours that you're looking to work. Now, the same thing, by the way. You told me you're taking 12 credits, and I just wanted to do this really quickly. But let's say you sleep 8 hours a day.